Namaste children. Today we are going to discuss separation of mixtures by using more than one method. Till now we did only one experiment or one separation method to separate the components from the mixtures. Means there are only two components are there in mixtures. If there are more than two components are there in a mixture or a solution, we need to go for the more methods to separate the mixtures. For example, we are taking the mixture of the common salt and as well as chalk powder. We can separate the common salt from the chalk powder and common salt mixture by applying the various methods. So let's see step by step how we are going to separate the common salt from the mixture of the common salt and the chalk powder. Here we take a mixture of common salt and a chalk powder as a mixture. In order to separate the common salt from the mixture of these two, we need to follow these steps. Look at here, I am dissolving this mixture into water. So what will happen? Solution of the common salt will form with the water, and as a chalk powder as a suspended impurities. And chalk powder will be settled at the bottom. Now how we can separate the chalk powder from the solution? As we know that is with the help of the filtration. When we are doing the filtration of the common salt solution and chalk powder as a suspended impurities, with the help of this filtration we are going to separate from these two. How? The chalk powder will be left in the filter paper like a residue, whereas the common salt solution as a filtrate, which we can collect inside of a beaker. So how we can separate this common salt from the solution of the water? There are many methods are there. As we discussed earlier, evaporation and as well as crystallization process is there. We can apply the evaporation also, we can apply the crystallization also. Let's say with the help of the evaporation or the crystallization we can get the common salt here. So like this we can apply many methods to separate the components from the mixtures. So this is comes under the separation of the mixtures by using more than one method. Now we are going to discuss waterworks. As we know that is the population is gradually increasing. So there is a huge requirement of drinking water to satisfy to fulfill the demand of the humans. Mainly we are depending on the ponds and rivers only to supply the drinking water. Is that water is pure? No. There are many impure substances are there inside of the ponds and rivers water. So we cannot drink that water directly. In order to supply this water to our homes, government is doing some mechanism here. That mechanism is called as a waterworks. What will happen in the waterworks? They will take the large quantity of the water to treat into the water treatment plant. That water treatment plant will give the purified water. The process we can call as a waterworks. In waterworks, there are many steps to purify the water. So let's see. First one is sedimentation. Second one is loading. Third one is filtration. Fourth one is chlorination. So here, as we discussed earlier, in order to separate the more than two components, we are going for the more methods too. Here also, in order to separate the impurities from the water, we are following many steps like sedimentation, loading, filtration, chlorination. So with the help of one diagram, how the process will works, let's see. Here, this is a working model of the waterworks process. In this waterworks, we are going to apply different are many methods to separate the impurities from the water. As we discussed just now, in order to separate the impurities from the water, we are doing the sedimentation, loading, filtration, and even at the last chlorination process. So let's see how these techniques will be applied here. Initially, we are taking the pond water to the sedimentation tank. In this, the water will be stored for a while. At that time, what will happen? Higher denser particles will be sitting at the bottom, like we can call as a suspended impurities. So, after suspended impurities which are sitting at the bottom, that water will be pumped to the loading tank. Here only higher denser particles are separated, but lower denser particles will be there in the water here. With the help of the alum, which is there inside of the loading tank, we can separate the less denser particles. This alum will be attract the low denser impurities which are there inside of the water. How they will be separated? With the settled impurities. So what is the process here? Alum is attracting the particles which are there inside the water, like settled impurities, which will be settled at the bottom. Later, again this water will be pumped to a filtration tank. In this, we have 3 layered filtration tank. Means here we are taking a gravel, coarse sand, and as well as fine sand. The particles or impurities which are higher denser will stop here, the lower denser will be attracted here. Even though small particles or small impurities are there, that will be stopped by the fine sand, coarse sand, and gravel in the filtration tank. Here we are getting the pure water, of course, but in this pure water we have bacteria. Bacteria cannot be separated with this 3 process, as we know that is. So from the filtration tank we are sending the water to the chlorination tank to kill the microorganisms in order to get the pure form of the water. We are treating this water with the help of the bleaching powder. This bleaching powder will kill the microorganisms which are present inside the water. So that is the final stage of the water works. At this place we can get the pure form of the water. Like this, we are getting the pure form of the water from the pond. These are the steps we followed. In our daily life, we observe many changes. In that changes, some are desirable, some are undesirable. Some are made by the humans, some are made by the nature. In some changes, new substances will form. In some changes, new substances will not form. By considering all this, in our chemistry, we divided changes into 2 types. One is physical change, second one is a chemical change. So here, changes. So these are the 2 types of the changes there in the chemistry. So physical change and as well as a chemical change. Physical changes. These changes are also called as a temporary changes. Why this called as a temporary changes means? Here with the help of an example, I will explain here. Here I am taking ice which is in solid state. By giving some heat, this ice will be converting into water, which is of the liquid state. Again, by giving some amount of heat, so what is happening here? Ice, water, vapor, solid, liquid, gases. Here what is happening? Only the physical state only changing here. Can we get back its version shape here? Yes. Gases can be converting into liquid, liquid can be converting into gas, solids. So what we can call these changes are temporary changes. Any new substances are forming here? No. Is chemical composition of the water changing here? No. So what is the definition of the physical state? Physical change here. A physical change is also called as a temporary change, in which no new substances will be formed and only there will be a change of the physical state or physical properties of the substances, and the chemical composition of the substances also will not be changes. Now here one more example I will take. When sugar is dissolved in water, what will happen? The sugar from the solid to it will convert into liquid state. So there is a changing of the state here. Now what is happening? Solution will be formed. Sugar is having the property is sweetness. By dissolving the sugar inside of the water, is the sweetness of the sugar will be changed? No. So here what is happening? The chemical composition of the sugar is not changing here. So this is about the physical changes. Here, these are the properties of the physical changes. So let's have a look here. So the properties of the physical changes here. Formation of the new substance doesn't take place, as we discussed just now. In physical changes, there will be no chance of formation of the new substances. And second one is, physical change can be reversed by reversing the conditions, therefore it is a temporary change. With the example of ice to water, water to vapor, we discussed it. That is, just for a while the physical state will be changed. We can get back its original shape by following some reversibility processes. So we can call this as a temporary change. Next term is, composition does not change. With the help of sugar and water we explain, that is, the sweetness of the sugar doesn't change. So here also the composition does not changes. Here, main characteristics does not change. The characteristics of the substances will not be changes. It will retain its characteristics. Fifth one is, energy does not change largely. During the physical state or physical changes, energy conservation will be very less. With the help of the less conservation of energy only, physical state will be changes. Due to changing the interparticular spaces or forces causes change in the physical state. So when solid ice if you take, the interparticular spaces are very close. When you heat it up, what will happen? The spaces are become increases. When you heat it again, what is happening? The space will be increases more. So here like that, the interparticular spaces, change in the interparticular spaces will lead to the change in the physical states of the substances. So this is about the physical changes and its property. Here these are some examples in physical changes. Let's have a look here. Melting of ice and freezing of water. So what we discussed now, physical change means only the state of the substances will be changes, the solid to liquid, liquid to gases. Here what is happening? Melting of ice, from solid to it is converting as a liquid. Freezing of water. What is happening here again? Water to again becomes solid. So here only the change of the state only happening. Any new substances are forming here? No. So this type of change is also called as a physical change. Boiling of the water. As we know, that is, when we are boiling the water gets evaporated or vapors comes out of the water. Again, if you are cooled down that vapors, what will happen now? Again it will form the water. Any new substances are forming here by giving the heat to the water? No. Just changing of the water into vapor to the water. The breaking of a glass. If you break any glass, only the state and the shape will be changes here. But each small part will also maintain its characteristics. What is the characteristic of the glass? That will maintain entire the small particle also. So here, dissolution of the common salt. When you are dissolving the salt in the water, what will happen? The water will be disappearing inside of the water. After doing the evaporation process, we can get back the salt. So just changing of the solid to liquid, the solid is dissolving here, again we can get back this. So it is also comes under the physical changes. Glowing of an electric bulb. By giving the current to the bulb will be heated. By heating, the filament becomes red and it will be the light. If you switch off the current, what will happen? Again it will cool down, it will come to its original shape. So changing the state. So from cool to hot, hot to cool. Just changing of its color. Just appearance, just it is a temporary change. So like that, these are some example of the physical states or physical changes. Chemical changes. What is meant by chemical change? The chemical changes are those in which new substances will be formed. Here, what will form? New substances. These chemical changes we can also call as a permanent change. Why we can call as a permanent change? Means, in chemical changes, the substances which are participating will lose its original properties. And after reaction, a new substance will form, will not show the old properties of the substances. Means, if you burn a paper, the paper will be converted into ash. The ash will not show the property of the paper and we cannot bring that ash into paper again. Means it's a permanent change. The action which is happening in the chemical change we can call as a chemical reaction. In this chemical reaction, the substances which are participating are called reactants. After chemical reaction, a new substance will be formed that is called product. This product will not show the properties of the reactants. Here what is happening? Reactants are losing their original properties by combining together. So we will not get old substances from the products. So it is a permanent change, like burning of a paper. Right? So we discussed about the chemical changes. Now we need to know about the properties of the chemical changes. What are the chemical changes here? What are the properties are there here? Chemical changes can't be reversed, so it is a permanent change. So once reactants are mixing together, giving a product, from the product we cannot bring the reactants here. Like for example, burning a paper. So once burned, what will happen? It converts as the ash. We cannot bring that ash again, we cannot convert it into paper. It's a permanent one. Next one is new substances with different properties will form. When two reactants are adding together to form a new product, will have the new properties. Means the product will not have the old reactants properties. It will have new properties there. And third one, chemical composition also changes. So during the chemical reaction or chemical change, the substances chemical composition also will be changes. Fourth one is energy takes place. In physical state, energy taking will be very less, but whereas in chemical change, the energy taking will be more. Either it is exothermic or it is endothermic. And fourth one is physical state of the substance may or may not be changes. When two solids are combining together, it may give solid product also. Means what is happening? Reactants are in the solid state, product also in the solid state. So these are the properties of the chemical changes. So here these are some examples of the chemical changes. Let's have a look one by one. Burning of a paper. When you are burning the paper, ash and smoke will come. With that, we cannot bring the paper again back. So it is a permanent change. Second one is the burning of a magnesium ribbon will form some magnesium oxide. So means in this magnesium is losing its originality and its properties. So we cannot bring that original properties of the magnesium back. Next third one is when iron is exposed to the air and moisture, new substance will be formed. That we all know that is a rusting. So next fourth one is formation of the iron sulfide from the iron and sulfur. Means when iron and sulfur, if you are mixing together, we will get the iron sulfide. So which is a permanent change. Next one is formation of the curd. As you know, that is from the milk we can form the curd with the help of the lactic acid. So it is a permanent change. We cannot bring that milk back. So these are some examples of the chemical changes. There are many examples of the chemical changes are there. Burning of food, digestion of the food, many are there which cannot bring back to the original shape or previous state.